Okay guys, so in this video we're going to learn how to read to a file, or read from a file, excuse me, and the first thing we want is a file to read from. So if you click on this program, your project, and we're going to go ahead and click Show and Explorer, and then don't go in the source directory where your code is, we just want to make a new file right here. So if we just say new, and then text document, we'll just say input, okay? So you'll see we have a new file here. Let's just enter a few numbers. We'll enter 100, 50, 65. Okay? So, what we need to do first is we need to make a file object, okay? So we need to import that, Alt Enter, if it prompts you. And then, so we're going to say file input file equals new file, and then in quotes, we're just going to say input.txt. Okay? So that is going to check to see if it can get this file. The next thing we're going to need is a scanner. So we'll say input equals new scanner. And rather than saying system.in like we usually do, you want to say input file, okay? And you're going to see that's going to give you one of those red lines, file not found exception. So if you just hit Alt Enter, surround with try catch, it'll go ahead and type that code we typed out in the last one for you. So if it opens that file and then scanner can read from it, we're going to need two things, okay, to calculate the average of those numbers. We're going to need a total, and we're going to set that equal to 0, and we're going to need a count, and we'll set that equal to 0 as well. Okay? So, we're going to use a while loop, and you can say while input dot has next. So this isn't getting the next, it's just saying is there another value? And if there is, we're going to do what is within the curly brackets. So we're going to say total equals total plus input dot next int, okay? And then what we need to do is just say count plus plus, okay? And that's the same as saying count equals count plus 1 or count plus equal 1, okay? You could do it any of these three ways. This is probably the easiest and most common, just when you're incrementing by 1. Let me go ahead and clean up that. Okay, so this is going to do all the heavy lifting to say. It's just going to read the file, get the numbers, and add them up, and then keep track of how many. So once it does that, we need a method to find the average. So let's say public static, and we'll return a double average, and it's going to take two things, the total and the count. And if you know how to calculate average, you know that all you need to do is return total divided by count, and then all we need to do after this while loop is just say sout, the average is, and then we're just going to say average, and then total and count. Okay? So let's go ahead and run this. And you'll see that it found that the average is 71. Okay? We can always check that, but I'm like 95% sure it's right. Let me see. 100 plus 50 plus 65. Let's go ahead and divide that by 3. Alright, so see, 71.667. Okay, and even though we returned double, it went ahead and cut that off because, let's look at why it did that. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's cast that total to a double. Actually, we should only need to cast 1 to a double to get that precision, okay? Okay, and you'll see that time, since we were doing two integer, we were dividing two ints, it didn't have a 0.0, but just by casting one of those to a double, you'll get that extra precision, okay? So that's it for reading files, and thanks for watching, guys.